Black opinionated woman, also known as a beau. So yes, you got me on the way into work this morning. So originally I was going to title this "Why You Have a BET Awards," but I realized that it's so much bigger than a BET Awards. I think I need to change the title of this to like the suckosity of BET. So by the time this goes live, whatever title I have for this set, it's going to be something different. So let me just say this. Walk with me for a second. I was on that clock app because for some reason, I just find it to be entertaining. Now, I don't get a chance to do it as much, but I get on it enough. And I'm seeing a lot of clips of Brandy, the artist Brandy. She came out. She's not a rapper, but she was rapping a little something. She looked good, everything like that. I enjoy Brandy. So she's bringing out Jack Harlow. Now, that song, Glamorous, is hot to me. But I'm like, why is she bringing out Jack Harlow? I mean, like, this is supposed to be about black entertainment, like black excellence, whatever. Now, I don't watch award shows because I think they're rigged. I think that most of these awards are basically bought, right? Or whatever the machine behind you is like basically behind the awards. So I see on the clock app, Brandy's bringing out Jack Harlow. What is wrong with this picture? Why is she bringing out Jack Harlow? So she's coming out doing her thing, and he's just, I don't know what he's doing. But the song is hot. So I'm like, this is the reason why I don't mess with these award shows. And so I had not been watching BET, which is Black Entertainment Television, for a while. And I tried to go back and start watching it. I tried to watch this show, Sisters. Now, before I talk about that show, let me just say about this BET thing. I don't watch award shows in general, but definitely not BET. But, I saw on the clock app, there was another, I don't want to call it skit, there was another, like, performance or whatever, where Taraji P. Henson, I can never get her name right, Henson, whatever her name is, Henson. She's coming out to the Aniko Girl song. I forget all the words. It's like really hot on that clock app. So that song is fire. So she's coming out doing some, I don't know what she was doing, but I'm happy that she was paying homage. But I'm just kind of like, well, where's the girl? So I'm thinking that was like a prelude to the Aniko person coming out and doing the performance, the originator, the creator. They never show the Aniko person. I think the person, I don't know, she, I don't know what's going on with the pronouns. They never even showed this artist, this incredible artist. So I was like, well, wait a second. Why is the artist not performing the song? Especially because it's hot, it's new, like, bring out this artist. I do have a point, so just stick with me. I just happened to get on this YouTube app, and I was listening to this content creator. Every once in a while, I listen to this guy, and I normally don't call out people because you never know how people feel about it, but his name is King of Reads. Now, this is a guy who is part of the LGBTQ community, and he brings up good points a lot of times. A little angry, but rightfully so. I don't agree with all his talking points, but he's a thoughtful person. And what was so interesting about, I was getting dressed this morning, and I put this video on. He was like, Jack Harlow at the BET Awards was bringing out Brandy. And I was like, he was? Because I thought Brandy was introducing or bringing out Jack Harlow. I'm like, this is supposed to be about black excellence, right? So why are we bringing out Jack Harlow? Well, they said no. Jack Harlow was he said this. No, I'm just telling you what he said in his video. I'm just going to still say allegedly anyway because I can't remember the exact words. Everything is alleged, but go check out his video. Maybe I'll link it in. he was mentioning how actually Jack Harlow was bringing out Brandy. I'm like, it seemed like I honestly thought Brandy was introducing Jack Harlow to the stage, which I already was like, this is no, no, this shouldn't be like this. This is nothing against Jack Harlow, but the purpose for those awards is to, honor and, highlight, black entertainers and creators and that type of thing. I just felt like, well, why aren't we doing that? Why are we introducing Jack Harlow? Although the song is fire. But see, Jack Harlow has which one of the music awards? Not the CMAs, that's for country, right? What are the Billboard Awards or something? All the Grammys and all stuff like that. He's going to get his flowers anyway. But see, the Black Entertainment Television Awards or whatever, that was supposed to be for, recognizing black creators, because they don't get that recognition on the world stage. The world stage will recognize the work and maybe use it, but they won't recognize them publicly, right? So where I'm going with this, so I was listening to him and I'm like, wait a second, Jack Harlow was bringing out Brandy? I'm like, it sounded like she was bringing him out. So it's so funny how he called this out, and I was like, somebody is reading my mind. Because I was like, I was already like, why is she bringing out Jack Harlow? As banging as the song is, like, he could have been part of a performance, but you want to recognize the black creators who don't get the recognition. See, if it was balanced out there, then there would be no need for the BET Awards. But so I'm like I said, anyway, so I was listening to this guy while getting ready this morning, and I was like, I'm glad he said it, because I honestly was just like, why is Brandy introducing Jack Harlow? No. And they're like, no, he actually was supposedly introducing Brandy to the award show. I'm like, this is why I don't watch these ridiculous awards. So I was just kind of like, okay, this is weird, because like, she just clearly outshined this dude. Okay. So I'm like, well, as I think most women do, actually. So anyway, I'm like looking at, like I said, I'm looking at clips from that clock app, right? And I was just kind of like, where is the Inigo girl? And sure enough, so I was listening to the King of Reeds guy, and he's like, she wasn't even there, or I guess the Inigo person, he, she, they, them, I don't even know. I can't keep up with these programs. It changed, all the pronouns changes, and everybody's in their feelings about something all the time. So I'm sure I'm gonna get blowback for this, but I'm like, okay, so what is it today? So, because I feel like, when trying to keep up with the right alphabet letter and the pronouns and everything, like, I feel like it's like shooting a fish in a barrel and the goalpost keeps moving. So it'll be something different next week. But Inigo, this is a talented artist, whatever pronoun this person goes by. Talented artist. I didn't even know this person didn't go by she or he or whatever until I happened to see King of Reeds. Didn't know that. All I know was, I was like, this artist is so talented, and why isn't BET saying, hey, I want you to perform the awards? Where am I going with this? I am so sick of BET. BET sucks. It just sucks balls. Like, why does it suck so much? The suckosity is real. I'm like, circling back to what I was mentioning earlier, I was talking about the show Sisters. I was like, I'm trying to support the show, because I haven't supported BET for such a long time. There's nothing on there that is really interesting to me. I think the shows are just so below par. And when I look at Sisters, that show, I'm trying to support it. I fall asleep on an episode sometimes. This is the thing that bugs me about the show. It's like a show of extremes. The women are beautiful. I love how they show different aspects of black women, right? We've got locks, we've got weave, we got the whole nine. Skinny, we got thick, we got light, we got dark. Very pretty ladies. But then the men that are on here, it's like the worst writing. The men are on the show like they're all so dumb. They've got the light dude that's like the pastor dude or whatever. He is over pandering to the one girl, which is ridiculous. Most men are like, look, if you don't want me, fine. But he is like, I guess the new term is simping, whatever. Like, the guy is just like doing too much. And then the girl, Karen, is so stupid. Like, the storylines are dumb. They still have the Andy chick messing with this guy who is just trash, Gary, whatever. Like, the storylines are so bad. You got the one girl who won't just admit that she likes this white country dude. And then you got the other girl, Sabrina. Her storyline is so bad. Every time she comes on the screen, I just fast forward, honestly. I fast forward straight through her parts because she's so dumb. Anyway, where am I going with this? BET sucks. I don't think that they have the right people on board. Ever since they sold it off to Viacom or whoever it is, like, this is not, they're never going to be in the best interest of black people. I don't know all the people who are on the boards or anything like that, but it's not owned by a black person. It's not. I just feel like the shows are bad, the award show is bad. Everything about BET right now just sucks. You know, it's bad. I'm just like over all of it. There's a reason why I was like, BET's trash. Anyway, so I was trying to support a show by watching the show. I was like very intentional about it, but I'm like, why do I keep falling asleep? The awards are terrible. I'm like, I don't know why it just hit me today. I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm seeing these clips. Why is Brandy bringing out Jack Harlow? Why are we celebrating Jack Harlow? Jack Harlow has a space. And then I come to find out, no, he was supposed to be bringing out Brandy. I'm like, well, why does he have to bring out Brandy? I'm like, Brandy is Brandy, okay? Like, that's why she has a one name, Brandy. That's it. Anyway, I don't know. BET sucks. I don't think that they really are working in the best interest of black people. I think the shows are just so bad. Even the show on Sisters, like, the women, the acting is just so bad. It's like, it's just so bad. The one girl dragging out this pregnancy storyline, she don't want a guy who wants, the guy wants to have a baby with her. She don't want him. She's pining over a dude that doesn't want her, hoping that it's his baby because she's dotting around. I'm like, this show is trash. This is what they think of black women. This is what the writers think of black women. They think that all the men on the show, they're like hyper yoked up, like super duper masculine and super stupid. They've got the one guy who's like the former bugged out jailbird, and I'm like, this is what they think of black men. This is what BET said, yes, write a show. I think it might even be written by Tyler Perry, and I definitely don't think that Tyler Perry is in the best interest of black people. I think he is one of the most problematic people. Like, he is too much. He has done more to harm the image of black women with this whole Medea thing. He's always got bad makeup, big cock to the side, big floppy breasts. I'm like, I don't walk around with big floppy breasts, okay? So I was just kind of like, I'm already done with Tyler Perry and his taking advantage of black women and out here in these streets. Because that's just me. But the show, the writers, the way they are writing black men is every black man has to be yoked up like some big, like muscular dum-dum, and they got to make sure they had a jailbird. They got to make sure they had, I hate to say it, but I got to call it like a thing. The light-skinned guys are like these weak dudes, but the dark-skinned guys are like these super, like, hard mass. Look, let me tell you something. I know a lot of black people, as I should, right? There are plenty of dark black men who can be quite loving and sensitive, not sensitive as in like, dude, like I'm gonna need you in every week, but more like who like, look, they need to like floss when they need to floss, right? And they need to like flex when they need to flex, but they don't feel the need to like display this hyper masculinity because they just are. And so if they need to like show you kindness and sensitivity, they can do that, and they don't feel like their masculinity is threatened. They say, hey, what's going on? Talk to me, right? And they're cool about it. But like these guys on this show are walking around stupid. You got the light-skinned dude, I still can't even remember his name. He's like a former preacher or pastor or whatever, which I don't understand why he's like getting down with the get down. He's like, you know what that is. So if he's doing that with Karen, he's walking around like, I think it's my baby. I know, just check the timeline. And I'm just like, they're making him out to be like this weak dude, and all these so-called strong men are the dark dudes who got this sinister past. It's like the dark dudes have like this ugh. So yeah, BET, I'm like, you suck. I hate BET. They've made black women, every single one of them. One is like a complete dodo bird. They make the one girl, it's like, I don't understand. You have access to some of the finest men, the most powerful, finest men, but you're chasing after a dude who I don't know, who slapped his wife around and did all kinds of nefarious things. And I was just like, girl, come on. I'm like, this is what they think of black women. I hate that show. I should probably stop watching it. I was like, I was trying to give it. It's had several seasons now. Granted, I keep falling asleep. There's one episode I didn't even see. I just skipped on through it. I don't know, but what I do know is BET sucks. That award show that I'm thinking, why is Brandy bringing out Jack Harlow? Next thing you know, I'm told that Jack Harlow was bringing out Brandy. I'm like, he was. Oh, and then on the Clock app, they were showing Jodeci. I was just kind of like, I actually like Jodeci. But I was like, okay, what's going on? What are we doing? BET sucks. Only reason why I don't think they should get rid of BET is because I feel like the people who are working for BET, I'm sure there's plenty of like brown people who are working for BET, they would be without a job. But I'm telling you right now, like, I don't care what any of you guys out here in these streets think about me. I think BET is trash. It's all the way trash. It doesn't mean that I don't love my people, but I'm just kind of like, I hate BET. I just hate it. Now I gotta go home and try to watch this. I'm like, and I keep falling asleep on it. I know I have a new episode. It's just so bad. But yeah, I don't watch the award shows. The award shows are stupid. I never know when they come on anyway. So afterwards, they're like, well, the award shows last night. And that's for all of them, whether it's a Grammy or the Oscar. I don't care about any of them. Because like I said, I'm making sure I don't get myself killed out here in these streets. You know, all of these award shows, like the people who are in power, and I'm not sure if you can see me. There we go. The sun's behind me. All right. The people who are in power, look, they go out there and buy these awards. That goes all the way down to even some of your faves, like your Beyoncé's and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of like, it's all rigged. You know, I don't care. And it's like, for black people, I just feel like whenever we go to perform, our performance always have to be overly sexual anyway, right? We can't just go perform. You gotta like bump and grind and carry on. I'm like, don't you guys get tired of that? I don't know if you guys can see me because I'm getting this glare. Okay, so anyway, I just feel like BET needs to like either sell itself to, which should not sell to some black people who understand black people. I don't know who's advising the people in Viacom. Like, I don't know who is saying like, hey, this is the image that we want to present of black people. I'm telling you right now, the shows are dumb. So the shows that they have on BET is like, these actors and actresses, they're not growing. They're not growing. They're not being challenged. They're not bringing in really good actors and actresses, at least from what I can see, not based off of what I see on Sisters. I was like, this could have been like some high school job. These actors and actresses are probably going to stay on like the low budget films. I mean, all I need to do is get out my little iPhone or a little camera, a little rickety thing, and just make a movie. Hopefully they don't see the microphone boom like over top of their head. I'm like, it's so tacky. BET sucks. It just sucks. It all the way just sucks. The suckosity of BET. I don't know. I hate them so much. This is why I don't. Let me just say for the record, when I was listening to the guy on King of Reeds this morning, he was talking about the black schools, and he was mentioning Howard. And I agree with him. Now, I did not attend a an HBCU. I went to a PWI. I applied to only one HBCU. I got in back in the day, but because they were so freaking tacky, I ended up canceling or rescinding my acceptance and going to a PWI, and the rest is history. Well, he was talking about the HBCUs and like how like a whole bunch of people who are, giving money to like schools like Howard and stuff like that, but it's being so grossly mismanaged. I couldn't agree with him more. I remember the school that I see. Look, I'm probably going to start some mess out here now. I should be at work in about 5 minutes or less, so I got to make this brief. I applied to North Carolina A&T. I was like, I'm gonna be an Aggie, blue and yellow. I was like all about that life, and got in. I was very excited. I was like, because I grew up around a bunch of white people, and I've been to like predominantly white schools all my life, and I was like, I'm going to an HBCU. I was so excited. Oh my gosh, and it was like for no reason, because I didn't even visit the campus because I couldn't afford to get to visit that particular campus, whereas I had been on all kinds of tours for PWIs, right? They'll sponsor all that kind of stuff, but for where I was at the time, I didn't get an opportunity to visit that. But I was going based off of research and everything. I was going to North Carolina A&T. I accepted it, sent them my money. Those jokers there were like, when are you going to send in my money? I'm like, you cashed the cash. I mean, you cashed the coins. Like, you cashed it. Like, what are you doing? And like the whole application process, I'm like, what do I need? And all of this stuff. And they were just like, like, who are you again? How much? What kind of what? Check. I'm like, this is so tacky. I was so turned off for a couple of months. And fortunately, I was able to, actually accept where I wound up going to, the PWI I wound up attending. Where I was going with that was like, here I am excited to go to an HBCU. I wanted to, like, why? Like, it made me think of like a different world and stuff like that. Like, I was so excited. And I'm like, everything about the process was just trash. Now, I know it's gonna piss some people off, but hey, that's my collection of experiences, and it is what it is. I know people now who are like, yeah, I went to Howard. They're like, yeah, it was, When I see people posting online like, this is what my dorm room looks like. Let me tell you something. I'm not here to praise PWIs, but I'm gonna make my point, and you're just gonna have to be mad. When I showed up to the school that I attended, let me tell you something. It was like, like the reception, my dorm, every dorm had a computer lab in it, so that if you couldn't make it to the computer lab, they had it was like these microcomputer labs. Everything I needed, down to, I never ran out of food. Nothing. Our bathrooms were clean. We were always stocked. Everything. I had everything. We never ran out of books at the bookstore, ever. There was like a plethora of everything. And now, granted, I was on scholarship too, and I had access to the best things. But like, never ran out of anything. Never. Like, I always had everything I needed and more than what I wanted, unless I just didn't make it to some place in time. And when I hear people tell me these horror stories at the HBCUs, I'm like, black people need to do better. I don't even know how I know how I segued onto HBCUs, because I started talking about some stuff and what the King of Reed said. But my point is, because I digressed and I went off on a whole bunny trail about some stuff. When I hear these kinds of stories, it just makes me so frustrated. Like, you want to be able to give to, I didn't even attend an HBCU. I would love to attend HBCU in another life, or maybe when I can like I don't know, retire early or something. Maybe I will just get that experience. I think the big thing is, it's not that I really want to go back to college. I just don't have any trust. I can't trust my own people. I can't trust my own people to put on an award show. I can't trust my own people to put on a TV show. Why would I give my hard-earned coin, my 3 cents, my little rusty nickels to some shenanigans? I would not. These kids are coming to some of the most prestigious black schools, and freaking dorms look like trash. Bathrooms are disgusting. I hate BET. I just hate a lot of things right now. I'm just in my feelings about some stuff. So, all right, I'm getting ready to show up to my job, and you guys don't need to know anything about where I work. So I'm just gonna end it right here. Black Opinionated Woman out.